What's going on, YouTubers? It's the Natural Born Thriller, and welcome everyone to Impact Wrestling Review, the show from May 5th, 2020. I think if I recall, they were in, or should I say it at this point, still in, I can't remember where they were at before, what it takes to their Rebellion shows. I'm guessing they was in Nashville, Tennessee. I could be wrong. Just give one moment, folks. Just give one moment. Okay, sorry about that. As I was saying, yeah, I'm pretty sure they were in Nashville, Tennessee when they did Rebellion for chapter 1 and 2. I'll just do a research here to remind myself. There we go. Yes, Nashville, Tennessee. So I'm assuming they were still there. You know, what pertains to the doing more tapings. What pertains to no crowds there due to the whole pandemic. Your commentators, Josh Matthews and Madison Rain. Now, there's a good reason why Madison Rain is on commentary with Josh Matthews and not Don Callis. It's because Don Callis, who's probably over the age of 50 or 60, trying to remember the limit of the age where it tends to, to those people, or those old, those people who are up there in the age, to where it tends to avoid the pandemic, that they gotta keep themselves quarantined. So, which is why Madison Rain is on commentary, and I think she's doing a good job on commentary. Way better than Josh Matthews, to say the least. So yeah, now as of right now, I'm not on camera, but what pertains to what's going to be talking about on this, on this review, which I'll get to that part later, I will get on camera for that one to do a rant. So stay tuned for that one. But until we get to that rant, because I really gonna let Impact Wrestling have it for this one, rightfully so and rightfully deserved. Let's get to how the show opened up here. Let's get to the part where how the fallout of Impact Rebellions end up being. So this show will be a package of everything. They didn't show everything, but this show, I'm pretty sure they did. I can't remember really, but they show that basically highlights what happened for the last 2 weeks of Rebellion. The whole thing with Kylie Ray being Kiera Hogan, and Kiera Hogan talking about she's going to be taking a leave of absence, whatever. I heard that part, and then other things too pertains to the world title situation where Tessa Blanchard and Eddie Edwards couldn't make it, but Michael Elgin ends up facing Moose, and then also Hernandez may return. And well, I guess at this point you can't say he may return because he's been back in Impact Wrestling for a few weeks now, so you can't really say he returned. And note there was Sami Callihan, passing out to Ken Shamrock's ankle lock to losing to Ken Shamrock after they repackaged Sami Callihan with the whole ICU thing with him being a hacker and being on his own and not being with OVE anymore. They have him lose, and we'll get to all that. We'll get to all that. Fallout of it when we get to everything that transpired on the show. So, Sami Callihan comes out first. He does a speech of telling the viewers watching at home on Access and Twitch, that he sees them and he sees everything. One moment, folks. I'm sorry. I'm being distracted here for one moment. Just give me one moment. I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back. I apologize for that. As I was saying, Sami Callihan talks about that he is still a draw. Callahan informs everyone that he never tapped out to Ken Shamrock's ankle lock. And after the announcement that was made, he basically calls out Ken Shamrock to come out. So Ken Shamrock comes out. They confront each other in the ring. Ken Shamrock says, over the years, he fought a lot of guys that tapped out to his ankle lock. He name dropped a lot of guys too. Well, not obviously not everyone that he may tap out and all that, but he a couple of them came from the WWE. And he said to Sammy Callahan that he never tapped out and that he is one tough son of a bitch. And as he said that, I see myself, so this was supposed to be a way to protect and make us feel better about Sammy Callahan of losing after you repackage him to be on his own. Is this your way to salvate what you have Sammy Callahan get a job out for? That does make him feel better, because I know how Sammy Callahan is one tough son of a bitch, despite them saying that he didn't tap out to Ken Shamrock's ankle lock. Big fucking deal. He still lost. Ken Shamrock is a made man. He's a made man in the UFC. He's a made man in WWE. At the time, it was called World Wrestling Federation. He's been a made man when it comes to NWA, TNA, and coming back to Impact Wrestling, which it is TNA. Which I'll get to more about that subject too when I get to Moose. The point is, Ken Shamrock is already a made man, and if you were bringing Ken Shamrock into Impact Wrestling, having put over the young talents, you failed to do that with Madman Fulton from Bound for Glory. I think it was Bound for Glory. I can't remember, or if it was Bound for Glory or it was Hard to Kill. I think it was Hard to Kill. I could be wrong, but yeah, it was Hard to Kill. Not remember. Yeah, you failed to have a young talent in Madman Fulton to be put over at Hard to Kill by Ken Shamrock, because Ken Shamrock just beat him. And then you go do with Sammy Callahan. I mean, who's next? You're gonna have the young talents to lose to Ken Shamrock next. At least with Moose, they have Moose go over on Ken Shamrock back at Bound for Glory. But as far as Madman Fulton and Sammy Callahan, how come they had to be the one to fall victim to Ken Shamrock? So basically, Ken Shamrock extended his hand for a handshake to Sammy Callahan, and we're going to see if he was going to shake his hand. But all of a sudden, Michael Elgin comes out, and he says that he believes the Impact fans come to see him. And then Sammy Callahan says something, I think he says something in the way of, it's the same way that these when their fans are not here, they give you no reaction. It was something like that. So then Michael Elgin says that he knows that he's the rightful choice. And Ken Shamrock tells him, Michael Elgin, that he's sick and tired of hearing him talking and everything, and he just wants to do stuff with him. So Sammy Callahan believes that Michael Elgin is just a choke artist because he couldn't get the job done numerous times when he had the opportunity to be world champion in Impact Wrestling. And then Michael Elgin takes a swing at Sammy Callahan at this point. Also, Ken Shamrock is involved. And also, a 2-on-1 situation, or two, Michael Elgin couldn't take anymore. He exits out the ring. And then Callahan and Shamrock bump into each other. Shamrock extends his hand for a handshake, or I don't know what's happening there. But also, Sammy Callahan raises his thumb up and thumbs down, presses his phone as he basically hack into the system of Impact Wrestling's production truck. Lights went out, lights came back on, and Callahan was gone, and so was Michael Elgin. Even though Michael Elgin was going to leave anyways, but Ken Shamrock was the only guy left in the ring, and that was it. And that was it for that segment. And that was basically it for Elgin, Callahan, and Shamrock for the rest of the night. I thought the opening was fine. There you go. The Ultimate Finesser, Chris Bay. He's going to finesse to finesse his way towards the X Division Championship. And he said he's going to call it the Finesse Division Championship. Basically, with the whole thing with Ace Austin, where Ace Austin said he's going to become the X Division champion, it's going to be called the Ace Division champion. And yeah, that's the gist of it. Bill is good promo though from Chris Bay. Good promo there from Chris Bay. So basically, it's about facing Willie Mack for the title for tonight. On that show basically. We'll get to that. Willie Mack is his time to talk. He said he's still flying off of being X Division champion. After he beat Ace Austin, and he reacts to Chris Bay's message about and he thinks that he's finessing his way towards something that he doesn't want, a big boot in his ass, and that was it. And it was good. It was a decent promo too. So now we get to a match. Before I get to a match, OVE, Madman Fulton and Jay Christ being accompanied by Dave Christ versus Triple XL, which is Larry D and AC Romero. Match itself was pretty decent, with Triple XL wins the match. Madman Fulton didn't take the pinfall, but Jay Christ did. And Dave Christ got involved a little bit, but at the end of the day, it was Triple XL winning the match. We see Impact Plus moment of the week, where it pertains to Mick Foley versus Kurt Angle from Victory Road of 2009 for the TNA World Championship title, which Kurt Angle was the champion at the time, and that was a great match too. I think that was the first time they ever wrestled each other before. they met each other before, but never ever had a wrestling match before until they went to TNA. We get to Madison Rayne during her locker room talk. She introduced her co-host, which he's not a permanent co-host, which I don't understand why. I don't get why. Especially how Madison Rayne was training his co-host. Her co-host, excuse me. But her co-host is Johnny Swinger. Yes, I wish someone would call the cops for that one. After that siren went off. Sorry, folks, that came out of nowhere. But hey, that was perfect timing. I should pat myself on the back for that one. There you go. Anyways, but yeah, Madison Rayne was burying Giant Swinger, which is great, but at the same time, what's the point of having him on your show to be a co-host? If you got someone on to be a co-host, I would have had Kiera Hogan be a co-host on there. But at the same time, that's kind of also basically doing that with her, which is her of her talent, because she could do way better as a co-host than. She could do way better as a female wrestler in the Knockouts division than she could as a co-host. But Ace has a suggestion for something that Impact Wrestling to do something to actually finally do something with Kiera Hogan, but we'll get to that part later, and that will be a rant. So just let you all know that about that part. And you're probably thinking, so why? I thought you don't care about how they treat Kiera Hogan anymore and everything. I don't. But then when they do something stupid, I gotta rant about that. The repackaging and all that and everything they did with her, and when I'll get to all that. I'll say that for later. Anyways, back to this locker room talk, which I do enjoy these segments with Madison Rayne. The only downside of it is Giant Swinger. He sucks. He's garbage. He's trash. So she introduced her guest, Havoc. Madison Rayne said, okay, we're going to hear Havoc talk here. So Madison Rayne talks to Havoc about how she feel about losing to Rosemary. Havoc was going to talk, but then also Madison Rayne cussed her off and basically, said that, basically, I'm trying to remember how she said it though. But then you got Johnny Swinger there, and oh my god, I was like, I can't get into this if Johnny Swinger's there. Like does Impact Wrestling want us to enjoy this segment, or do they want us to not feel any segment at all when it pertains to having a Johnny Swinger involved? Because to me, Johnny Swinger, I don't find him any appealing of him whatsoever. He is fucking terrible. and I don't know why. I can't even I cannot figure out why. Of all people, the Impact Wrestling, they got Giant Stringer having TV time, but when they had Killer Cross at the time, they didn't want to do anything with him because of the situation that Killer Cross had with Impact Wrestling. So their best solution is by having guys like Joey Ryan and Giant Stringer, who are both garbage to me and not appealing whatsoever. They both suck. You had them on TV. You had them on your payroll. But Killer Cross, who's legit, who's a badass, who's someone that everyone can look forward to seeing, that could pay money, that will pay money to see someone like a Killer Cross, you let him go. Same thing with the Hardy Boys too, which is the whole broken universe. But anyways, but also having starts talking now, and I say to myself, great, it's good that she's talking. And that's nothing too. Master Ranger talks about this girl who by the wife of Jake Christ. I didn't get to learn her name, folks. Like I said, I was going to, but it's Nivala Crust. I mean Nivala Crust. I meant to say Crust. Now she wasn't there, but Master Rain did bring. I think she may have brought her up. I couldn't remember on that. But having talking about no, she doesn't know why she was there or whatever. So I'm assuming she's going to have a program. Havoc is going to have a program of her. So, and she says something that ends up being had some awkwardness involved, and obviously with Johnny Stringer there too. All of a sudden, Master Rain, she has a surprise for Havoc. And I couldn't believe who showed up. Kimberly is in Impact Wrestling. And Havoc was not happy to see her. And obviously, Kimberly wants a piece of Havoc. And that's going to lead to the next episode of Impact Wrestling. I can't wait. So yeah, Kimberly has been brought into Impact Wrestling. They made a big deal out of her, unlike what they did with Kiera Hogan 2 years ago. But I'll get to that later. But yeah, I'm happy to see Kimberly in Impact Wrestling. Another female wrestler who was in WWE that WWE didn't want to capitalize on, which I don't understand why. I mean, she never got a chance to really shine on NXT. And the fact that they let her go because they didn't find her body type to be anything special, or I don't know what else in the explanations of why she didn't stick around in WWE. It's ridiculous, because she's pretty good. Kimberly is pretty good, but for some reason NXT at the time didn't see that. And it's a damn shame. But that's their loss, and this is in Impact Wrestling's game. So, for those who don't know who Kimberly is, buckle your seatbelts, because you're gonna and in a good way, it's gonna be a bumpy ride to see how Kimberly is gonna perform in the wrestling match. It's gonna be a real treat. I've seen her wrestle plenty of times on YouTube, even on NXT for a certain degree, and even on the main classic. When she wasn't called Kimberly, she was called by something else, which I don't want to get to that, because that was a dumb name to begin with. But yeah, she's pretty good, and she could definitely make you say wow of her abilities in the ring. Cody Deaner, he showed fans what he's been up to during this whole quarantine thing. Basically, he's at his property. Yeah, and it was entertaining. I can't remember all the full details of it, other than there was some action figures that he was talking to, where it seems the whole quarantine thing. I guess the whole social distance, the whole social distance thing. Just saying. I mean, easy for me to say. I remember one of the action figure was Hillbilly Jim. You don't want to be messing with the good. Excuse me. Easy for me to say again. You don't go be messing with the good old boys. Oh, I'm sorry. You don't go messing with the country boy. I meant to say. That was his name. Anyways, which by the way, it was a good theme song that was made by Jim Johnston. But I remember seeing this segment. I was like, it was entertaining, but I was like, where's Cody Diener? I mean, not Cody Diener. I mean, where's cousin Jake? I meant to say, where's cousin Jake in all this? We'll get to that later, by the way, folks. Giant Swinger, he ends up being in the wrestling match against Suicide, so I watched it. It was hard for me to watch it because Giant Swinger's there, but Suicide won, and that's great. Moving on. Fuck Giant Swinger. He's fucking garbage. We go backstage. We see Ace Austin. He can't believe his ears. He doesn't think that Chris Bay deserves a shot against Willie Mack because he hasn't been there that long and he hasn't beaten guys like. Yeah, I mean, he basically saying, oh, who is he beating? That's what he basically is saying. And he says that he's going to be in that match and it's going to become a three-way match. And he's going to win back his X Division Championship. It's going to be going back to being as the Ace Division Championship. And there you go. And that's going to be the main event, and we'll get to that later. We get a sit-down interview with Moose, and conducted by Josh Matthews. So Josh Matthews wants to know why Moose thinks he's the TNA World Champion. Moose believes that he's the champion because he's faced all the greats in the companies, pertains to a Ken Shamrock, an RVD, a Rhino, who are all former TNA World Champions. And basically, he's been on the road being guys, in Impact Wrestling. And then he basically, pertains to starting coming into pertains to Tessa Blanchard coming to be there. I can't remember if he mentioned Tessa Blanchard, but I think he did in a way because Josh Matthews brought it up in a way where she wasn't there, but I was there. I was here, and I got the title and everything. And by the way, potentially getting the title, I'm pretty sure he got that from the shop, from TNAshop.com, I think. I'm just saying. But then again, there's the name TNA is dead anyway, so who cares, right? No, just kidding. Which I'm gonna get to more of that after I'm done with this. But yeah, I thought it was a good interview by Moose. Josh Matthews, I thought he did well. That's as far as I'm gonna go for there. But he starts saying that next Impact Wrestling show, he's gonna start a North Contendership tournament. I'm sorry. Josh Matthews announced that there's going to be a North Contendership tournament, meant to say, where the winner gets to face the Impact World Champion, Tessa Blanchard. And Moose was in it, but Moose said he's not going to be in it because he's already a TNA World Champ. He's already a champion, and he says that Impact World Championship title is a. I can't believe he said this. I never heard this before in wrestling. He called the Impact World Championship title that Tessa Blanchard got right now. He called that belt the second class World Championship. Wow. I never heard that in wrestling before. That's the first. In my knowledge, that's the first. Oh, that was great. I actually liked it too. By the way, Moose calling the Impact World Championship title that Tessa Blanchard is wearing is the second class World Championship title in Impact Wrestling, while Impact Wrestling has got the first class World Championship title in the TNA World title. So Moose says he's not going to be in the tournament for that reason, and then he says he will knock out Josh Matthews, but he's got better things to do, and he leaves. And I say to myself, no, beat him up. I was like, no, beat him up. I'm like, damn it, man. Josh Matthews always gets a pass. No wrestlers want to beat up on Josh Matthews, but they'll beat up but they'll beat up guys like Adon Callis, the Pope, and whoever else that was commentating with Josh Matthews. Well, actually, Sanjay Dutt never got beat up by anyone when he was commentating with Josh Matthews or Taz. And obviously with Taz, you can't because his neck issues. Other than that, the Pope and and Don Callis. And Don Callis is not even a wrestler, but the Pope is. And Don Callis gets beat up, but not Josh Matthews. People have problems with Don Callis on Impact Wrestling, but not Josh Matthews. We're a chance to entertaining us on TV. What's more entertaining, than seeing Josh Matthews getting beat up? I think that's more entertaining. But Impact Wrestling, they don't see that as entertaining. They think that's not entertaining, which pertains to Josh Matthews getting beat up. But seeing Don Callis getting beat up, that's entertaining. Next thing we're going to see Matt Ryan get beat up by someone from the Knockouts. While Josh Matthews and Matt Ryan is commentating. I don't know. But nevertheless, that was a good interview from Moose. Now, about the whole thing with TNA World Championship title being on TV again for Impact Wrestling, because back in 2017, which was stupid from Bruce Prichard and from the company overall too as well. But I'm pretty sure that was a Bruce Prichard idea, and if it was Bruce Prichard's idea, that's one of his stupidest ideas ever in professional wrestling. And he's got many of stupid ideas that he had in professional wrestling, days of WWF and now in WWE. Sorry, folks. That was me beating up on Bruce Prichard. I was just kidding. But that came out of nowhere. The noise. But anyways, but yeah, for Bruce Prichard during his stays in TNA and one chance to him being there for a short period of time in 2017 when it just became Impact Wrestling when they had no identity, and they was going to have an identity where there was going to be called Global Force Wrestling, basically GFW, I meant to say, which I would have been fine with that, but Jeff Jarrett fucked it up though at the same time. Fucking idiot. But with Bruce Prichard, I cannot think of one thing that he had a genius idea for the wrestling business. Let alone, never heard anyone from shoot interviews, from podcast interviews, and whatever type of interviews there were. For those that know Bruce Prichard behind the scenes, I can't think of anyone, any names whatsoever, that ever said that Bruce Prichard has some great ideas in professional wrestling, because there is none. And if there was any of it, it was trash. It was garbage. It was one of the most worst ideas in professional wrestling history, and this was one of them. The name TNA, the word TNA, is dead. So, that being said, with Moose being the TNA World Champion in Impact Wrestling, my question is to Impact Wrestling, to Anthem, what's stopping them? Because it's the thing too. They was going to do the whole TNA There's No Place Like Home show, but unfortunately with the pandemic going on, they had to postpone it or cancel it. I can't remember what it was, but at the same time, with them bring back the name of TNA for that one event and everything. And then when they did that one event too as well, where it changed to TNA, I can't remember when it was, but it was basically the return of Kid Cash and a few other TNA originals to face the Impact wrestlers. Basically, it was TNA versus Impact. And I was saying to myself, after seeing, and I should talk about this more from last week's review, basically what pertains to Rebellion, after when Moose won the title. I was gonna say what pertains to Impact Wrestling and the Anthem. Now I lost my train of thought there. I'm sorry. Oh yeah, here we go. What's stopping them for bring back the initials TNA? What's stopping them of going back to the name of TNA wrestling, total nonstop action. What's stopping them from doing that? In my opinion, they should bring it back. And based on what I believe, I think they're gonna do, because of what Eric said. I can't remember I think it was Eric Melendez. Who listens to the Asylum, along with with me, Christian, and a few other panels of the Asylum, where it to doing that live reaction for Impact Wrestling for Rebellion. He mentions Moose versus Tessa Blanchard for the title, and I think that's what they're going for. I don't know if they'll go for 7th anniversary or if they'll go for Bound for Glory. But based on this whole tournament thing, by the way, which I love the idea of the tournament because I love tournaments. I think the winner of the tournament will face Tessa Blanchard at 7th anniversary. When there's going to be crowds there. I don't think that 7th anniversary is going to be canceled once we get there. And plus, they got plenty of times they have some fans in there for 7th anniversary. Because they're going to be in July, and at this point, the virus will the virus of the COVID-19 will die down for now, until everything is fully clear. But and then what pertains to Moose to being the TNA World Champion, maybe whoever wins the 7th anniversary, if Tessa Blanchard retains, because we don't know if Tessa Blanchard is going to resign with them, because her contract. And here's the thing, her contract is up this coming summer. But if they give her this, if they give her this promise that for this day, she could be a game changer in Impact Wrestling, and be the man, not be calling the man, Drew Marker, what pertains to Becky Lynch, the man, because that's that whole thing when Becky Lynch calls herself the man is stupid. But the way that Tessa Blanchard said it too, by the way, I thought that was very clever the way she did it. But I thought it was like a shot to Becky Lynch. But it was kind of a way that too. But at the same time, it was also a hint of what they're planning on doing with Tessa Blanchard later on. So I'm assuming that she's going to resign. She's going to still be the Impact World Champion to go up against the TNA World Champion at Bound for Glory. Winner take all, and they'll combine the two to be called the TNA Impact World Championship. Will that happen? I don't know. Or in the future, will be fulfilled once we get there. Wait and see how that turns out. But at the same time, but again, back to the whole TNA thing. What's stopping them going back to being called TNA? I wouldn't mind for them being called TNA again. I always loved the name TNA, despite Vince Russo's dumbass remarks of why he wanted to call TNA in the first place, because he's a fucking idiot. So, but there's one thing I will give credit for Vince Russo though, even though it was not meant to mean anything important, because he brought that up as a joke, because he takes because Vince Russo to me is a joke. At least TNA Wrestling was a marketable name. TNA, not total nonstop action, was a marketable name for Impact Wrestling, and I think they should go back to that. I hope so. I hope they do, but something that they're not going to. But who knows? Who knows? Anyways, yeah, that's my thoughts about it. I enjoyed the interview, and I enjoyed that this tournament's going to be happening, and that's going to be enough time for Tessa Blanchard to come back to Impact Wrestling, and also too, this had nothing to do with Tessa Blanchard, but also we need to that closure between Taya Valkyrie and Jordan Grace for the Impact Knockouts Championship title, which I'm assuming that they're going to be doing that eventually once they come back to to the building, back to the company to finish off that feud, because it was supposed to happen at Rebellion, but unfortunately they couldn't be there. So moving on. So we got a rematch from Rebellion, Joseph P. Ryan versus Cousin Jake. Why? I don't know. But at the same time, what was the point of doing that match at Rebellion if you're just going to do this match again at the Rebellion? Who cares about this match anyways? I didn't, because I didn't watch. But Joseph P. Ryan won. That's all you need to know, and that's all you need. That's all needs to be said. Moving on. Fuck Joey Ryan. We see some intense backstage things with OVE. Basically, Madman Fulton was going to beat up on Jake Crist, but then not Jake Crist, Dave Crist, excuse me. And now I'm turning to Josh Matthews here. I'm confusing both of the Crist brothers. Anyways, but Dave Crist was the one that was going to get destroyed by Madman Fulton, but then Jake Crist stops him, and it's like you have to focus. You have to focus being in that tournament because Madman Fulton is in the tournament. Who's going to face the Impact World Champion. And Madman Fulton, he agreed. He's like, and then he calmed down, and that was it. All right, folks. Before I get to the rant, let me first talk about this. Impact Wrestling show a video vignette on Kiera Hogan, the girl on fire. They talk about her being born and raised in Atlanta, Georgia. And they're talking about basically it's her talking basically. And I'm looking at this and I'm saying to myself, what the fuck? Now give me one moment, folks. Impact Wrestling. It took you 2 fucking years later to do a video vignette to tell us who is Kiera Hogan is, why she's here, what she's all about, what's her background story. That's basically what it was. This was basically Kiera Hogan's background story about where she came from, what she's about, why she's in Impact Wrestling, why she's the girl on fire. She's also more pertains to being the hottest flame, with her being a heel. And I'm watching this, I see myself, wait a minute, is this a babyface video vignette? Are they is this mean she's going back to being a babyface now after her losing to Kyrie, the Kylie Ray? Like I don't understand this at all. You mean to tell me you waited 2 years to do a video vignette about Kiera Hogan? Well, you could have done this 2 years ago when she made her, when you first signed her. And you waited until you finally have her debut. But when you finally had her debut, she had no entrance. She had no introduction. She just showed up in the ring, just like that. Like she was not a big deal. Are you fucking kidding me? Kiera Hogan is a pretty good wrestler. She's got a pretty good character. What she's been doing in the indie scene. She's very likable. Everyone likes her. She's got good personality, good charisma. She's very charismatic. She's got it all, She can go in the ring. She's got endurance. She's got stamina. She's got what it takes to be in knockouts. She's put over the knockouts way more than she put over the women's in WWE. And I've been waiting for her big break when they when they try to do something with her in the way, give her this opportunity and this opportunity, and then she drops the ball and all that, and then she kept losing, and then she ends up being Ali's sidekick, and then with her getting buried, and then being revived back by Ali and everything, and then with the whole thing with her and Rosemary, what happened with the whole thing, the whole thing was going on with Ali, and then when Ali ends up being dead, and at this point, well, what are they going to do with Kiera Hogan now? Because well, Ali, what's Kiera Hogan going to do now? Until they they had her do some with Rosemary and all that, and then they repackaged her to be a heel, and then they started repackaging her of her looks and everything, only for to keep losing and losing and losing and losing, and then have her side with Vance and Rain, and then do nothing after that and all that, and then they give her a little wins here until Tina Dashwood beats her, and then Kylie Ray beats her. I'm waiting for pretty soon I'm gonna be waiting for Kimberly to beat her too. By the way, Kimberly and Kiera Hogan once had a match before too. Kiera Hogan beat her before. Wouldn't surprise me if Impact Wrestling is going to do the same thing with Kimberly to beat Kiera Hogan. Wouldn't surprise me. But the fact that now all of a sudden they want to care about Kiera Hogan. Now all of a sudden they wanted to repackage her. Now basically this is their way to repackage her again. But they couldn't have done something with her 2 years ago. So what's this going to mean at the end of the day? I don't know. Because it's clear to me, with this whole repackaging thing, what does it matter? Look at Sami Callihan. You repackage him of being a hacker, and he loses to Ken Shamrock. You repackage Kiera Hogan plenty of times, but she ends up losing and losing and losing. This ain't gonna be no different. At least what you could have done is to give her the respect, to let everyone know who she is when she came into Impact Wrestling. When she first signed, you could have done some from there. And let's not forget Tina Dashwood too, by the way. When she came in, there was basically no hype behind her whatsoever. In a way, they kind of overrated her, but there was no hype behind it. And then when they try to repackage her, Tina Dashwood, with this whole thing with her looking in the mirror, whatever they was doing with her, all for her to come back and she's back to being, it's all about me. There's nothing changed about her. Like, what are they doing with Tina Dashwood? What are they doing with Kiera Hogan, excuse me? Is there any point of this? Hopefully it does lead to a point for Kiera Hogan to finally become, Knockouts champion. Other than that, what's the point? By repackaging her again and again and again, you just keep wasting my time. And with this whole new repackage thing, it's just gonna be another waste of my time too. If you're gonna repackage her, she's gotta get momentum. She's gotta get some steam. She's gotta win matches. She's gotta look strong. No more of this bullshit. Enough with the bullshit with Kiera Hogan. Either do something with her or let her go. Either go away with or go all the way with her to make her mean something on Impact Wrestling, to mean something in the Knockouts division, or otherwise let her go. That's all I gotta say. Next, we get to the North. They defend the Impact Tag Team Championships, and they were in Canada, by the way, and they were doing their entrance and everything. And we got this guy, I forgot his name, but he was on Twitch TV at one point for Impact Wrestling whenever Melissa Santos wasn't there, and he was doing the ring announcing. I think he was also playing part as referee. Yeah, it was entertaining. I was watching this. I said to myself, what's going on here? I don't understand at all. Also, we see some dummies in the crowd because there are obviously no crowds there because the whole pandemic thing. It was kind of funny too, the way that Ethan Page went after those dummies. One of them in a way. And Josh Alexander was looking annoyed in a way, which is no surprise there. Also, we get to these two jobbers, and they call them the creeps. One of them was so skinny as fuck. look way skinnier than I look. And the other guy who came in with a luchador mask, and he puts it on. Basically, he's being portrayed as a superhero or whatever. I don't know. But ends up being the squash, and the North wins, still your tag team champions. It was entertaining though. I enjoyed this. It was entertaining. It was basically a cinematic match in a way. That's what it was for the tag titles. We go back to the bar where Rosemary, she pull out tons of cards and tries to figure out what's next for her. I wish I knew too, because Impact Wrestling obviously doesn't know what to do with her either. And yeah, Rosemary has another one too. What are they doing, Rosemary, after Rosemary is no longer with Allie? After the whole thing with Allie being dead and everything. What's going on with Rosemary? She's at a bar drinking, mourning the death of the bunny Allie. Even though it's been almost a year now, or at least close to a year. But yeah, Rosemary trying to figure out what's next for her in the future. We're playing these cultural cards and like that. I'm trying to remember what they call it. Or chance of turn the future, whatever. Fortune teller, whatever. I can't remember. But anyways, yeah, I wonder what's going to be next for Rosemary. I'll tell you one thing. I think Rosemary's leaving. I think that's good. It's going to lead to Rosemary leaving, which is going to be another way for me to say. Also Remington, but at the same time, Remington doesn't watch Impact Wrestling anymore, anyways, because what Remington said before, which probably a shout out to Remington, aka PlayStation Guy 85, that they keep dropping the ball. They dropped the ball with Killer Cross. They dropped the ball with Scar Bordeaux. They dropped the ball with Austin Aries. They dropped the ball with a few others that the Hardy Boys, by the way. Remember that one, 2017. Just saying. They just keep dropping the ball, and Rosemary is one of them. And to me, Kiera Hogan is one of those situations that they're dropping the ball with too. So Rosemary is going to be the next one being gone. I don't see Rosemary sticking around in Impact Wrestling. I think she's leaving, and if she does, good riddance. Because they're wasting my time with Rosemary too. Rosemary was the hottest thing in Impact Wrestling, and then all of a sudden she started dying down because there's no more Allie there. So, what's Rosemary's next step? I hope she goes to AEW. Because let's face it, AEW, or since their women's rosters, Britt Baker ain't doing to me, in my opinion, ain't doing a great job. Other than what her character of being a dentist, who gives a fuck? That doesn't entertain me. And she doesn't entertain me in the ring either. Her character, basically, Britt Baker's character doesn't entertain me. Not just her character, but her wrestling. Brandy Rhodes' character entertains me. Her wrestling personnel, I meant to say, no, not so much either. But that's for another time. But anyways, so Rosemary, I think she's leaving. And she should go to AEW, because the women's roster needs a lot of help. Where since to have some type of personality on the women's division. I mean, Hikaru Shida is doing it. Riho's doing it. For me, I think they're doing it. Chris Stanlander, not a Rose. Yeah, and about Big Swole. I think they're doing it, and all they need is Rosemary, and also the bunny Allie. You could do something with that one. Hopefully Rosemary does go to Impact, the AEW once her contract is up. I don't know when her contract is going to be up, but based on what they're doing with Rosemary here, it looks like she's going to be leaving. I don't know. Only time will tell. But this is weird what they're doing with Rosemary. Roy Raju, he wants Moose's spot to be in the No More Contention tournament because he feels like he's been underutilized. True. He's not getting the opportunities that he should be getting. True. And he's done with that's his squad. And he's also done with Gama Singh. He's going to be his own man. He's going to basically take the opportunity and run with it. I thought he could have a good promo here. And look, the same situation with Kiera Hogan. Another person that's been underutilized that Impact Wrestling is dropping the ball with too. I think Roy Bajou is good too. The problem is they've been giving him so much shit that how can we take him seriously? And I didn't take him seriously, but on that goofy haircut he had, which I'm glad he got rid of it. Thank God. But he's been repackaged too. There's no more Desi Hit Squad. There's no more Gama Singh. There's no more, that. Obviously, Gama Singh couldn't be there because the whole pandemic, the whole pandemic thing. But yeah, we'll see what Roy Bajou can do on his own. I think he, because he's very talented. He could do things as a singles wrestler. We got Josh Matthews and Master Ray announcing the first round tournaments. I mean, the first round matches of the tournament will start in the next episode of Impact Wrestling. It's going to start off with Ray Rajul versus Trey, Madman Fulton versus Hernandez. By the way, I don't have the brackets with me here, but I'll do that on next time, on next Impact Wrestling review. So, that's that. Also, they announced too that Happy's going to go up against Kimberly Lee on the next Impact Wrestling show too as well. So there's a lot of things to look forward to on the next Impact Wrestling show. And also, Moose will defend his TNA World title against Suicide in the main event on the next Impact Wrestling show. But speaking of the main event, we get Willie Mack defending his X Division Championship against Chris Bay versus Ace Austin in a great triple threat match for the X Division Championship title main event. All three of them looked great. And the highlight of the match was Willie Mack going forward the Mack Stunner onto Chris Bay. And Chris Bay did what Scott Hall couldn't do when it pertains to getting the stunner. Chris Bay had a better height in a way of taking the stunner than Scott Hall ever did. But yeah, that was so awesome though. I wonder if there's a GIF of it. I'm pretty sure there is. That way you could compare the Stone Cold Stunner to Scott Hall from WrestleMania 18 to William Mack's stunner to Chris Bay from Impact Wrestling. And you could compare those two and see who had the better height. Obviously, it was Chris Bay who had the better height on that one because he's a high flyer. Scott Hall is not one of the guys who's a high flyer, but Scott Hall, when he did it was funny too. But Chris Bay looked like he got the better height of being getting stunner than Scott Hall did. But in the end, so Willie Mack goes for the 6-star frog splash onto Ace Austin, and winners and still X Division champion Willie Mack. And so down the line, Chris Bay, because he didn't lose the match, he's going to get another shot against Willie Mack. When it's going to be, I'm pretty sure it's going to happen at Summerversary. We'll see. Only time will tell. After the match, Ace Austin was backstage, and he talked about after losing tonight, he's looking forward for some new opportunities. What's that going to be? I don't know yet, but we have to wait and see. We have to wait and see. He didn't really give us a hint of it, but we don't know what's going on in the mind of Ace Austin. But he said he's done with the X Division title. That's not beneath him because now he wants something that's above the X Division title. So I'm pretty sure it's the world title. It could be that, but we'll wait and see. That's basically a cliffhanger there of what Ace Austin's next move is going to be. And there you go. That was the show. And I thought the show was good. So talking about wrestling were 5 matches. And my overall rating for the show, I'm gonna go with a 9 out of 10. This was a good show. A great or to release a great show. And they're doing a better Indie Arenas show than WWE of Raw and SmackDown is. I'm just saying. With that being said, thank you all for watching for It's Natural Born Driller, saying peace on the streets. For this was your Impact Wrestling review from May 5th, 2020. This was a fallout of what happened from Rebellion from Chapter 1 and Chapter 2. So, folks, you'll take care. Work against this whole pandemic situation going on. Stay well, stay safe, stay in quarantine. Stay quarantined. Be essential. Me, on the other hand, I am being the essential, as I am the essential born thriller or the natural born essential, whichever works out for y'all. So, I'm out. Ta-ta for now.